today and interacted with us on the comment section. I want you all to know that we are grateful. Thank you for all those activities you are doing on our channel. Those that watched after the live section, you need to know that we are beyond grateful. Thank you for all those activities. Thank you for those activities. Welcome again to the OBICHI'sTV. Welcome again to today's live section. So today we are having another wonderful conversation, a conversation that is needed for everyone. It doesn't matter if you are building a social network platform or if you are catching up with any other activity, physically. But you must understand that there is need you catch up with a positive frame of perception. You need to understand the importance of positive mental attitude for your growth in any platform you are operating on. So if you are someone who is intentional about growing a social network platform, could be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of these platforms that you want to grow, there is need you have a positive, mindset, a positive mental attitude. Without a positive mental attitude, it becomes very difficult to continue. It becomes easy to give up. It becomes easy for you to burn out and all of that. So now, regardless of anything you are building in this life, you need a positive mental attitude. Positive mental attitude is non-negotiable if you want to build anything that is of meaning, anything that will last. So this is the conversation we are having today. Positive mental attitude for growth. And speaking of growth, we are centering this conversation on social media platform. Now, I think it's important I keep reminding us that this is a digital age. This is a digital age. This is not the era where we are trying to build a physical community. This is not the era where we are trying to build auditoriums and houses that can contain a large number of people to gather so that we are able to communicate to them the values that are in our possession or any such thing as that. No, not this time. This is a digital era. Now, the earlier we make peace with it, the earlier we tap into how it works, the better for us. So if you are someone who is about to, grow a social network platform in today's world, I want you to know that having a positive mental attitude is non-negotiable. So we are going right into the conversation like I always do. I have my small notes that I took that will help us catch up with today's conversation. If you are just joining for the first time, please do well to subscribe. I hope the internet is not lagging again. It was lagging in the first place and we had to, reconnect. We had to, end the live section and start over again. It's a bit blur from this end. I told you guys I have a place where I check out the activity to know what is going on as I am using my back camera. So guys, if you are just joining for the first time, do well to subscribe to the OBICHI'sTV. Your subscription has been helping us. It has been helping us reach a wider audience. So continue to do that activity. Continue to subscribe. Continue to like our videos. Continue to share them. Continue to leave a comment on the comment section. Leave your questions. If you have any complications, any confusions in the conversations that we are having, please do well to reach out to us. Let us know your confusion, let us know your difficulty so that we can be able to attend to it. Okay, so today's conversation is developing a positive mental attitude for growth. Now, you need to know that it is important, it is very, very important we develop a positive mental attitude if you want to really grow on any social network platform. You see, we have been hearing that injunction: be anxious for nothing, be anxious for nothing, be anxious for nothing, stay grateful, stay positive, and all of that. But you need to understand that it is not as easy as it comes. It's not as easy as we say it. Like, it is not that easy to stay positive in anything we are doing. Now, that is to tell you that you need to equip yourself. You need to, build a structure in your mindset. You need to understand the inner conversations that you are having, like what is going on in your mindset. You need to align your mindset in the direction that it can bet what you actually want, because at the end of the day, the battle of life is won and lost in the human mind. If you don't set your mindset aright and you go into an endeavor, you go into you embark on a particular endeavor, it becomes very difficult for you to come out successful in it. Now, I think it is also important I remind us that growing a social network platform, I will try as much as I can to be repetitive in this aspect. Growing a social network platform is not a joke, and it is not for immediate gratification. It is actually something that transcends generations. So you might as well make peace with the fact that there is no hurry to it, and you don't need to be anxious about whatever present outcomes you are getting. Okay, having said that, okay, if you are just joining, please do well to subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section or the chat box, so that we can catch up with your question. I think I have to keep this here so that whenever any of you leaves a question, I should be able to see it here. Okay, beautiful. Now nothing is distracting me again. Sorry about those times that I got a bit distracted with looking sideways to catch up with what is happening in front of the screen. So guys, this is a digital age. If you are going to grow a platform, if you are going to build a platform, you must have a positive mental attitude for you to grow successfully in these platforms. You need a positive mental attitude. It is non-negotiable. Look at this. Whatever happens when you start your social media journey, whatever happens when you start your social network journey, is, let's liken it as a fact. Let's assume you started a social network platform and you uploaded your first video and it got up to, let's say, 10 views, 5 views, 50 views. That's a fact. Now, if you can start to have such a number, 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, some have up to like 1,000, 10,000 and more. Whatever you have is what you have. Now pay attention to this. Your thoughts about this fact, what you perceive or what you think about that result, how you welcome the result, what you take it as, matters a lot. What you understand it as matters a lot. Pay attention to this. Let's assume you made a post and you had a low view. That's a fact. Now, as you are focusing on that view, something happens in your mind. Something happens in your mind. Now let's try to put a frame around that your outcome that you are having. Let's assume the low number of views you are having, which is an outcome. Let's place a frame around that number. Now, if you place a frame around that number, it helps you to focus on what you are seeing, right? It is important to understand why frames are used in, designing pictures that we put in our house. A frame is used to design a picture so that you can focus in what is at the middle of that particular frame. So let's put up a frame and we will call it a frame of perception. Now, as you have put up a frame around the results you are having when you started a social network platform, now, when you look at that frame, you are going to, perceive that outcome either on the positive on the positive aspect of it or on the negative aspect of it. You either see it as a positive result or a negative result. Now, as you are focusing on that result, you are seeing either positive or negative. It is what your mindset makes out of it that matters. Now, as you are looking at it, as you are focusing on that number, it can either motivate you or demoralize you. Now, wait a minute. As you are focusing on that result that you are having, which might be a little low as a beginner, it creates a belief. It creates a belief in your mind. It creates a belief in your mind. Now, this belief that it will create in your mind is either going to be positive or negative. Either you are going to feel like to continue or to discontinue. Now, for you to feel like to continue, like you are having a positive, belief, which we can call faith. If you are having a negative belief, it can give birth to something we will refer to anxiety or being anxious. Okay, now a lot of us don't understand that both faith and anxiety are beliefs. Yes, faith is belief in the positive direction, while anxiety is belief in the negative direction. So when you have these outcomes on your videos, you will either have a positive belief or a negative one, which can be which we can call faith or anxiety. Now, when you have this belief in your head, it's kind of turns out to, it births something like a feeling. Now, you need to also understand this. If you want to do something or if you must do something, there is need you feel like doing it. It's either you feel like doing it or you feel like not doing it, right? Now, that feeling is what prompts you either in the positive or in the negative direction. If you want someone to do something, you have to get them to feel like doing it. If you really want someone to do something. So if you also want to do something, you must first of all feel like doing it. So when you have an outcome on your channel, on your page, that is either positive or negative, you will have either a positive feeling or a negative feeling, right? Now, if the feeling you are having is positive, then automatically it's like you are having, like, there is anticipation that when you continue, right, you can have a better result. Like, this anticipation now is like what we will say that we can easily define anticipation as we can say that anticipation is the energy we have when the outcome we are expecting is desirable to us. Did you hear that? We liken anticipation to be the energy we have when the outcome we are expecting is desirable to us. Now, but if you have a negative feeling, now that is anxiety, anxiousness. Now, you also need to understand what anxiety or anxiousness means. Now, we can refer to anxiety as wasting present energy, like wasting present energy in the future outcome that is undesirable to us. Wasting present energy in a future outcome that is undesirable to us. You look at that now. So you don't want to waste that energy. You don't want to do that, because look at this. When you welcome to this live section. Welcome to this live section. Thank you for joining us today. Mr. Felix Wankoma, thank you for joining this live section. Please, as you stay on this live, if you have any question, do well to leave it on the chat box so that we can attend to it as we continue this conversation. So guys, this whole conversation is centered on developing a positive mental attitude for you to succeed on any social network platform that you are building. I've also made us to understand that this is a digital age, and it has come to stay, and the earlier we embrace it, the earlier we make peace with it, the better for us. And also I made the comment that if you are growing or building any such thing as social network platform, you must understand that it is not for immediate gratification. It is something that will transcend generation. So there is a need you be patient and obey the law of process. Thank you. So while we continue in this conversation, I was saying something earlier that when you have an outcome, let's say after you made a post, when you have an outcome after you made a post, there are two polarities of belief that comes to your mindset. There are two polarities. That is the positive and negative polarity of thought process that comes to you. Now, these thoughts come to you as a belief. Now, when it's said that you believe that the more you stay consistent, the more positive outcome, or you feel like you don't have to continue because, the feeling you are getting or the belief you are getting is in the negative, like causing a kind of anxiousness or anxiety in you. Because when you have a positive feeling, the belief that comes to you is what we refer to as anticipation, which is like the right mindset you need to continue. But when you have that negative frame of perception, which births anxiety and anxiousness and worry, you begin to waste present energy in a future outcome that is undesirable to you. You don't want to do that. No, you don't want to do that. So pay attention, guys. We're about to get into the main aspect of this conversation today, how you can actually build a positive mental attitude that will keep you going, that will take away any such thing as experiencing a burnout or the thought of quitting. You will be able to delete all of that from your mindset today after this conversation. So for any of you that is just joining us, do well to subscribe to the OBICHI'sTV to catch up with our activities here. So I'm about to check on the notes I took so that we don't run off track in this conversation. Now, I wrote down something like this, like no man can develop a strong mental attitude without a goal. Now, it is important you learn how to set a goal, because without a clear-cut vision, without a goal, it becomes difficult to set a positive mental attitude. It becomes difficult for you to wake up every day believing that it is going to be another successful day, another day that you will experience something meaningful. So for you to develop a positive mental attitude, there is need you have a clear-cut goal. Now, speaking of having a clear-cut goal, as someone that is building a social network platform, and have had some if you have had some experience on the outcomes, I mean, your outcomes are the experiences you're having. So if you are seeing your outcomes and it is not what you really wanted, and you can set a target for yourself, like you can use the outcomes you are having to, program a goal for yourself, so that you do not set a goal that you cannot achieve, thereby having another anxiety or anxiousness within you. No, you don't want to do that. So you can use the present outcome you are having to set a goal. Now you set this goal in bits. As you okay, I saw a YouTube channel of a young man. In his description, he wrote down things like 100 subscriber, 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, and all of that. Now, why he achieved anyone, he would tick good in that, right? Now, look at how he kind of set that up. He knows that it is a process and it's going to take him time. He has a goal. I'm pretty sure that the moment he gets to the peak of what he wrote down there, he will delete them and set another goal. Right now, he also understood the law of process and understood that it is not going to be as easy as most people may have projected it out there. So he set a goal based on the outcomes he is having, and he is doing a great job at that. So it is important you set a clear-cut goal. It will help you, to develop a positive mindset. Okay, look at this, guys. Positive mental attitude for growth on social media is non-negotiable. I don't know if I can say it any better. Developing a positive mental attitude for growth on any social network platform is non-negotiable, super non-negotiable. Now, the mental attitude to rise and win, to not quit, is not a surface level optimism. No, it's not to put up a smile and say, yeah, I believe it's going to work. No. It's something that has to be, laid as bricks in your mind. It's something that you have to lay as bricks, precept upon precept, like line upon line. Is something that you need to take your time to structure in your mindset. It's not any such thing as surface level optimism. It is not the religious aspect of, saying I have faith, I believe, I am thinking positive. No, it's beyond that. It's beyond that. This is something that will transcend generation. It is just as you building an industry. It's just like you building an industry. So if you must actually grow, if you must succeed, if you are intentional about success in any social media platform that you are building, my dear, it is beyond surface level optimism. You need to sit down and have an inner conversation with yourself. Yes. Okay. Some of the things I'm going to say in this life, will come to you as a truth that will set you free. Yes, some of the things I will say on this life will come to you as a truth that will set you free or challenge your excuses. It's either it becomes a truth that will set you free from your anxiousness, from your act of wasting present energy in a future outcome that is undesirable to you, or it will challenge your excuses. See guys, I have heard virtually every preacher say something like this. Virtually every preacher, every motivational speaker that what we dwell on the most in our mind, in our thought process, is what we will manifest. And you see, you cannot juggle between a positive thought process and negative process. No, the two doesn't work together. Like, you cannot think that things will go well today, tomorrow you begin to ask yourself, are you sure this thing will work? No, you haven't actually built a positive mental attitude. You are still floating. You are still floating. You are still floating. Like I said earlier, developing a positive mental attitude is far, far beyond surface level optimism, because you are going to experience challenges in growing a platform, just like every other person out there who is building a structure, an industry or something experiences challenges. You are going to experience very serious challenges, because in the first place, I have likened building a social network platform to building an industry. Right now, you are building an industry as an entrepreneur. You are expecting to make huge profit. You are expecting to get paid. You are expecting to make gain out of the investments you are making. So the quality of investments you are making will determine the quality of result you are expecting. And I think in one of my videos, I've explained to us, I've said something like this, that YouTube, for example, I am very conversant with YouTube activities. YouTube pays really, really good. And I've also cited examples with people that are top in religious hierarchy, that celebrates certain milestones they get to on YouTube. That is to tell you that, yeah, these people are really, really being paid in a very, very huge way. YouTube pays, like YouTube actually pays, and you do not want to take something that pays for granted. You do not want to take something that pays for granted. So you've got to be patient and first of all build the right mental attitude that will keep you up and running, that will keep you waking up every day believing that yes, it is another day to achieve something monumental. So whatever we dwell on, whatever thought process we dwell on, that is what we will definitely manifest. Okay. Do you think you have built the capacity? Do you see yourself as someone who has built the capacity to see beyond the fog of difficulty and still operate with faith, precision, and purpose? Now, the only known attitude, the only known antidote to see through challenges is a positive mental attitude. Do your research. Do your research on every great guy out there that is hitting it hard, that is, at a place of success in their craft, at a place of success endeavor, in their ministry, or whatever they are doing. You will understand that one of the strongest advice they give to people that come in contact with them is developing a positive mental attitude. If you do not have a strong positive mental attitude, when challenges hit you, you will go off precision. You will lose track. Now, for you to actually look at this, for you to have the best kind of positive mental attitude in pursuit of whatever you are doing, for you to have the best of quality kind of positive mental attitude in pursuit of whatever you are doing. You should be a person that has made contact with your purpose. You should be a person that has a clear-cut goal, a vision like that you are pursuing. It is, I think it's what's this guy's name? Napoleon Hill, the author of, I think the author of Think and Grow Rich, that said, show me a man that has not discovered purpose, I will show you a man that can easily drift, a man that can be swung by wind of doctrines. Yes, something like that. But when you have a clear-cut vision, you begin to operate with confidence, and whoever operates with confidence easily attract people. I mean, like, take your time and go in your thoughts, go into the environment you have been exposed to, and see if you can picture someone that you are often attracted to. You will see that this person has a level of confidence that is kind of disturbing. People that operate with a high degree of confidence attract others to themselves. And the only thing that can give you that dimension of confidence is when you have made contact with your people. When you have a vision. When you have a vision, sir, people come close to you. Because, I mean, vision is clarity. A vision is precision. Do you understand that? So you don't want to, I mean, the way to greatness is a narrow path. Now, if we have come to accept that the way to greatness, the way to a life of meaning, is a very narrow path, and you see someone who is operating with precision, brother, you don't want to make the mistake of not aligning yourself with such persons, because at this point now they are operating with full confidence that they have a vision, they know where they are going, like they have captured the picture, like they have captured the destination, right? So duration is no longer their problem. What will you call it now? Wave, challenges, problems that they will face on their way, turbulence that they will face on their way has not. It doesn't. You see, when Christ made the comment that peace should be still on that boat that they were sailing on, he didn't say that out of caprices or whims. It's something that came out of him based on his conviction of his destination. He was convinced beyond reasonable doubt that he is going straight at the right hand side of the Father. He saw the end before he began, right? So if you want to develop the best quality positive mental attitude in pursuit of whatever you are pursuing, my dear brothers and sisters, a clear-cut vision is also non-negotiable. Thank you for that. So it is only that clear-cut vision that can help you to see through the fog of difficulty and still operate with faith, precision, and purpose. Like I've said, that is the only known antidote. Now, look at this. As someone that wants to go very far in growing your social network platform, that's if you really have understood what I said earlier, that growing a social network platform is not for immediate gratification. I will also not blame many of us who are thinking in that direction, because some of us who are coming from developing nations, that are in lack and want, that are lacking structure, that are lacking the basic things of life. When we hear of social network platforms, one of the things that comes to our mind is that is another shortcut to success. Pay attention to this. There is no such thing as shortcut to success. Social network platform is not a shortcut to making money. It is not a shortcut to making money. Make peace with this. If you make peace with this, you begin to see growing your platform from a completely different perspective. If you make peace with the fact that it is like social network platforms, it's not a shortcut to making wealth, to making money. If you have that understanding, you begin to, operate from a place of structural building. You begin to operate from a place of foundational building. You begin to set things right from the base, right? Knowing that you are going upwards Jacob's ladder in due time. That you will get to a point where finances will no longer be a problem for you and your family and every other person that is connected to you. So you need to have that kind of indestructible and unstoppable mindset. A mindset that doesn't mind failure, right? A mindset that understands failure to be a prerequisite to success. You must develop a kind of mindset that will understand failure to be a prerequisite to success, to be a means to an end, which is success. You need to understand failure to be like a means to an end that we will refer to as success. So you cannot be yielding or succumbing to anything called failure. Also, I think we need to understand this. Negative thoughts are not visitors, they are invaders. See, negative thought patterns, negative thought processes, they are not visitors. They are rather called invaders. I think there is an injunction that goes in the direction that the devil is walking to and fro, seeking who to devour, like looking for where to penetrate, looking for where to invade. So, and it is a thing of the mind. We constantly say that the battle of life is won and lost in the human mind. That is to say that the only place that the evil one or the negative ones or the devil want to gain access to is your mind. So if you understand that negative thought processes are not visitors but invaders, then you begin to build a particular structure that will withstand it, that will shield it, that will you begin to build that faith, that you begin to carve your shield of faith to wall that negative invader. You get the point now? So, and the building that shield of faith is you sitting down and understanding that it is no longer time you scroll away in the internet, but a time for you to sit down and consume positive information, which is the structure that we are talking about. Now, the mind is never neutral. Something is always going on in the mind. If you do not control the mind, another person will control. If you do not control your mind, if you are not intentional about what you put inside your mind, other people will be so very intentional about planting a program, planting a seed in your mind, or the devil will take it over and run with it, because even the devil needs the vessel as well to run with, right? So the mind is never neutral at any point in time. So guys, we must understand that we must also understand this concept of auto-suggestion. Auto-suggestion is actually something that happens in our mind, the inner conversations that we have, not out of our own voluntary act, right? Not out of our own voluntary act. I mean, sometimes you sit down and you say something like, this thought appears to me. I have this thought, I have this inspiration, I have this prompt, I have this intuition pump. Okay, wonderful. Now, those auto suggestions, those invasions, they are powerful and must be understood. So if you are someone who constantly have such experiences of thinking that things are likely not going to work, or things are not working, or what is the possibility of things working, I want you to understand that there are constant negative thoughts invading your your mind, and you must do something about it. And doing something about it is you accumulating positive information, looking up the biographies of great men, looking up documents that great men of present and past has wired. It is Ellery Channing that said that books are the only way we enjoy intercourse with great minds of present and of the past. Now, you might want to have that quality intercourse with great minds, and the only way to do that is to make contact with a book. So, we are coming to the end of this live section today, and one of the things I will leave for us on this live section today is that we should not gamble with the line that said what the mind conceive and believe it will achieve. What the mind conceive, believe it will achieve. In that regards, you might as well want to be directed by a clear-cut vision. So guys, that's about it for today. We'll be coming to the end of this live section, and hoping that by tomorrow we'll hit it hard in another direction. For all of you that joined this live section today, and those of you that will watch the video afterwards, I want you to know that I am beyond grateful. I do appreciate your activities on this OBICHIS channel. I love you guys, and as you like these videos and comment on them, also remember to share them. If you are making contact with this channel for the first time, do well to subscribe. Do well to subscribe. Those activities are what will continue to, help us to build a wonderful community that will serve you even better, that will bring even more quality information to you, that will keep you in check and in the positive direction. Thank you for joining today's live stream. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.